Financial reform on Wall Street is just one of the topics also that everybody is talking about this week. The controversy, of course, over Arizona's newly passed immigration law is another. Here to talk about what you're talking about is our power panel, journalist Judy Licht and Lynn White, and advertising executive Charlotte Ann Nelson. Thank you all for being here once again. Lynn, a long time. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. Welcome back, Chuck.
I've had a relaxing couple of weeks here. I mean, to come with you guys.
Noise.
Yeah. Anyway, let's Judy, with you. Let's start with Arizona, the new immigration law there. What do you think about it?
Well, it's not a pleasant notion to be compared with Nazi Germany on one hand. On the other hand, who can point a finger at Arizona and say that they can do anything about it? Because unless we enforce the sealing of borders, unless the federal government enforces the sealing of borders, they have to do something. There are 460 illegal immigrants in a state of 6.6 million people. That's an incredible drain. And so this is a law that's actually been on the books, a federal law that's been on the books, and only now is Arizona enforcing it and choosing to enforce it.
So, Lynn, do you think that it's fair to compare Arizona with a regime that ran death camps and executed millions?
Well, they compare this president to the leader of that regime. No, I don't think it's fair. But I do think you have to do something about immigration. It's the dirty little secret that we've kept swept under the carpet, and no one's wanted to or had to deal with it until now. And if this focuses the attention of our country to our needs and the needs of the border states, that's good. The way they're going about it is horrifyingly bad. You cannot pick people up off the street and say, you know, you're brown. You might be an illegal alien. Let's throw you in jail for a while. Well, you don't do that in the United States of America.
The law written in the law is there will be no racial profiling.
Right?
So, yeah, the devil is in the details here, right?
Well, except no one in Arizona has been able to articulate how this will be implemented. The governor herself can't specify what the criteria will be for picking. It is a gift to the lawyers. Can you imagine the number of wrongful arrest suits they'll be inundated with, even apart from these newly facilitated cases that now anyone can bring? If you feel the police aren't arresting enough people, you can bring a suit. It's going to be a free-for-all.
And does that really solve the problem? How do you deal with illegal immigration? Ronald Reagan wouldn't have done it this way. The Bushes certainly don't want it done this way. How do you do it in a way that's fair and equitable and helps us in this country eradicate the problems of illegal immigration?
Utah is about to pass the very same law that Arizona passed. Utah is the next state up.
Yeah.
So this is going to spread. It's
going to spread to every state, because otherwise they're going to go back to coming into the country through California, and California will have that problem, and El Paso. The only reason they started coming into Arizona is because they tightened the borders in California and Texas.
It is not going to spread. I think it's going to be declared unconstitutional. I think it clearly flies in the face, I would think, of the Fourth Amendment. And Eric Holder's indicated.
But it is going to force the hand of the legislators to do something about immigration laws, and that's really important. So if that's what it does, I'm all for it.
You all do understand that the federal government has been abject in this, that has not done its job, right?
Absolutely right. But I think they've had bigger fish to fry. We've been, we do have a collapsing economy.
This fish has been on the burner for a long time.
But everybody's tossing it on the
Lynn, I disagree. I disagree totally. Congress passed a bill, and they passed a bill to seal the borders. And what happened was nobody paid attention to it. Bush did pay attention, but he wanted a virtual border. And in the meantime,
citizenship.
And President Obama has not even addressed the issue.
I think he's had a lot to deal with in his first year.
Let's use the last minute we have, just switch topics here. Let's talk about financial reform and Goldman Sachs testifying. The executives lined up and getting their spanking yesterday, in front of Congress for 11 straight hours. What's your impression about what happened yesterday? And we'll start at the other end, Charlotte.
Well, I think what we saw yesterday was the mores and culture of these big banks exposed. But frankly, the regulatory vacuum that we've allowed them to operate in has turned them into these bloodhounds after short-term profit. And if the bloodhounds are now savaging the community, we only have ourselves to blame for not putting the fences up higher. We need regulation. It's 18 months since the Lehman bankruptcy. That's the scandal here. Where's the regulation?
And I think the danger here is what you're seeing in Greece, what you could see now in Spain, in Portugal, in Ireland, the collapse of the global economy. No one was watching. Again, you need some kind of global regulation. That's not been happening. No, should they stop progress? Should they stop capitalism? Absolutely not. Everybody has the right to make as much money as you want, but not to the detriment of the rest of the world.
Judy?
There is such scapegoating right now of Wall Street. It's disgusting. This is populist capitalism at its worst. And what's really, if you want to look at who started this crisis, forget Wall Street. Let's look at Chris Dodd. Let's look at the people who were backed Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and told everyone who really couldn't afford to buy a house, sure, you can buy a house. Don't worry about the money down. Don't worry about these loans. They'll be okay. The worst loans were made by our government and endorsed by those in Congress. And Wall Street just had to clean it up.
Okay, thank you all.
But they did a
last
great
word.
job,
That's
right?
the last word. Okay, it's great to have you back. Thanks.
Thanks for having us.